to Press Select. We are Bat and Hovis, and
Hello.
and our first kind of I'm dead already. Our first
Pilot.
yes, this is our first pilot, which is called Shock Horror, which is going to be about the horror genre games. So why don't we start with a little bit about ourselves? So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, my name's Hovis, and I am just your slightly below average gamer.
Yeah, I'm probably the same. I'm Bat, and kind of welcome to the show. We're not experts.
No,
really. We're not experts. We're just someone who happens to like games, and we're a couple that kind of met through gaming and decided to carry on, even though we're other halves.
Yes.
So
yes, indeed.
Yes. So our first kind of question is, what horror game stuck most in your head, experience-wise?
Experience-wise, well, my top one has definitely got to be System Shock 2.
And why's that?
Why's that? Well, that thing has actually scared my pants off.
Really?
Yes, pants.
So,
right off, gone.
Gone. So they're not even in this kind of
Not in this realm at all, at all. It is lost in the land of the pants.
Is that the same place where socks go?
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
It has blown my socks off as well. I've lost them as well, so...
Apparently, did you know that there's actually like a little compartment where socks go in the tumble dryer? So you can actually relocate them?
My God.
Yeah. So, why did System Shock 2 kind of fuck you up so much?
Well, mainly is I suppose, the unpredictability of that game when I first got it back then.
Mm.
One of the main things that really got me was the fact that monsters can open doors.
Yeah, I kind of got that, because it's like, when you're just playing something else, like, I can't really think of an example, but most horror games you can be like, oh shit, nope, and then it's like, close the door and you're done. Whereas like this one, it's just like, no, we're not going to give you that kind of security.
Yeah, and generally the game is fairly deep and quite technical, I found, because it's been a sort of a horror RPG. It is really good.
Isn't that the one where you're kind of talking to the guy and then suddenly his like brain gets sucked out or something stupid like that? So I've never really played it that much. But...
No. Well, it's you sort of like you start off in this like derelict spaceship, and you just got to basically survive, and you got one voice that's trying to guide you through the game, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that is going to play it out there, mainly because it just came out on Steam. So everyone can play it.
Yeah.
And it's just it is the only game I think I tried to play on my own in the dark and headphones on my own at home. I had to switch it off.
Oh, I can't do that.
Away. I had to switch off and walk away.
I was like that with like Silent Hill. Like Silent Hill, I'm going to talk about in a minute. But Silent Hill, I tried to play it, and I even had all my lights on in the house, and like, I think it was broad daylight, curtains open, everything. I still couldn't play it because I was like, nope, I'm fucking out of here.
Well, to be fair, that's the same with me. To be fair, I'm in the process of playing through the Silent Hill series. But I started off by playing the Silent Hill 3 mainly.
Yeah, I started with 3.
Well, Heather, so that's what I can say. But no, it was that creeped me out a lot, really. Even just in the mall, I couldn't bring myself to play anymore.
I have to admit, the first thing that really shit me up was like, you remember when you're going through, like, it's the very first level you can actually play through, and it's the part when you've got these bunnies and you don't know whether they're going to move or not. They're just like laying there dead.
Yeah. Is that right at the beginning of the carnival?
Yeah, and I can remember playing it, I'm like, oh, they're going to move, are they going to actually jump scare me, what are they going to do? And I couldn't play it because I was like, oh, shit. But,
Yeah, so, like, back to System Shock, it to me, that is pretty much one of my first sort of experiences with horror games, at least from my friends. It's been recommended from my friend, and when I was at school and played it, and my God, it was one of my favourite games, definitely. And by far, my experience with that, for example, like although there are jump scares as well as sort of like the general creepy atmosphere, there are also game mechanics that gets your adrenaline going and sort of scares you. For example, the whole gun health it has. The gun itself doesn't get better with age. More you use it, more likely it's going to break down and jam, and then you can't use it until you fix it up, and you have to have the right skills and the tools to do that. And that's one of the major thing that really scared me was early on in the game where I couldn't find a decent weapon, and I've been shooting a lot of them, and the guns I have on there are terrible. And just running through this whole section of the ship with a really terrible shotgun, and then when it just comes down to walking along on my own in the quiet, and then it just suddenly a mutant turns up behind me and Chan goes, "Rah!" And there's me pointing straight behind him, and then click. Gun jammed. Balls.
That's what I quite like about it, because you see, like most horror games sometimes, they kind of fail in the aspect that they don't kind of have that mechanic. They usually just like give you a good gun and, you know, you can kill them easily. That's where some of them fail. It's like also in Eternal Darkness. Remember we was playing it yesterday?
Yes, that's right.
When I can't remember the girl's name.
Alex.
No, the girl that was going through the tombs.
Oh, the dancer.
Yeah.
The dancer, yeah.
Yeah, where her sword breaks.
Yeah.
And you only got this shitty little blow dart thing. So you're just like, oh shit.
That didn't last long, to be honest
No,
with you. So, and that's once again, that is another game that I was going to talk about, well, at least a little bit about it, because I've only played a bit of it. I haven't completed it myself, and because I had a GameCube, and then I sort of moved on to other things, and I just forgotten about it for a while, and I keep hearing my friends keep doing like runs of it, you know, a couple of like 30 hours or something like that takes to complete the game. So really makes me want to go and try it again. Which I will. I mean, we started yesterday, and we got a little bit way into it, and
it's quite good fun actually.
It is, yeah. That's some interesting mechanics, and
I like the fact that you can actually choose where you decide to hit. So like, you know, you can either chop off their arms or you can actually decapitate them.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that gives you sort of a different combat advantages and things like that. But obviously, you can't say Eternal Darkness without those hallucination effects, which what makes the game really shines compared to other horror games out there, really, in my opinion.
I remember the first kind of horror game experience that kind of stuck in my head was when I was playing Resident Evil 4. And of course, I really fucking love that game. But usually, I prefer to snipe. You know me. I'm not really more of a, you know, in the midst of the battle. I prefer to stand back and snipe.
Yeah.
And I remember I got to one level, and I can't remember which one it was from the life of me, but I was sniping some zombies, and I thought, oh yeah, I've just cleared them all. You know, I feel really good about myself. As soon as I took down this snipe, I saw like 5 zombies, like literally right behind me, about to attack, and I was like, oh shit. So you kind of had to like grab your gun, like turn around, and just. I think I died in the end, but it shit me up because I didn't expect it. Yeah,
I think that's the kind of jump scares like in Dead Space, which I have to admit I absolutely love. Finished the first one, I never completed the second one. I haven't heard much decent about the third one, so I'm probably not gonna touch that. But the first one really got me. I really did enjoy the atmosphere. It sort of really reminds me of System Shock, being on once again another derelict spaceship and infestations and things like that. And that has also got the strategic dismemberment system, almost similar to Eternal Darkness, the way that you can take off different limbs of your enemies and that'll do different things. And you know, like if you take off their head, they don't necessarily die like in most zombies sort of games. They absolutely flail in madness and hoping to get anything that's in its path. Take down his legs, he'll crawl on the ground, and take down his arms, and that generally kills So that just doesn't make sense in my opinion, but hey.
Yeah. I suppose the thing with System Shock 2 is it's kind of, you can't really run away aspect because you're in fucking space. Nobody's going to come and rescue you in a broken down spaceship, really. You can't really go anywhere. That's the kind of thing I like, as well as kind of...
That's the kind of setting, isn't it? The sort of like being alone somewhere, which is...
kind of like Bioshock. Like Bioshock, you're just so far down in space. In space? So far down in space! No. Yes. You're so far down in like the sea that you can't really go anywhere. You can't get back up to the surface and run, can you?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I mean, Bioshock, I like the... I really like the atmosphere, but is it scary? That's not to me, really.
No, I thought it was quite scary, but I'm really bad at horror games. You know, I find everything scary.
I know, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's like the time that I was playing Dark Souls, because Hovis kept going on about it, and I thought, all right, then I'll give it a try. And we got to one part, I think it was only in the beginning, and
right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning. And there was a note on the floor. I said, oh, what's this? So I looked at it. It said run away. And I was like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like, I was even talking to Hovis about it. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Suddenly it was just like this huge fuck off monster. And I was like, fuck! And I didn't know what to do. I like crapped myself and I just ran around the screen for like 5 minutes, not knowing what to do, getting hit. Before I realised to run away.
Oh, well, it does that to you. It's the unpredictable. It's been the first time playing that, and that's what Dark Souls does to you, really. It's when you run the game the first time, it's the kind of unexpected things that you see and everything that really gets your adrenaline going, and also, you know, actually scare you, like Bat's experience with the big boulder running towards you right from the beginning, which is designed to catch new first comers out anyway. So, you know. And if you saw play on your own, you think you want, oh god, I want to try and stay alive, and I know this game is hard, and then suddenly it's like, no,
fuck, yeah,
that's it.
I don't know about.
Yeah.
I kind of the other one that kind of really stuck in my mind is actually Cryosphere. Because it's not actually an official game to my knowledge. I think it's actually just a mod of Half-Life.
I'm not 100% sure of that one. I haven't heard of this one myself. I'll be interested to know what it is. Because I haven't been catching up on this, but just look at the web page now.
It is actually a Half-Life mod.
It's a Half-Life, yes, but it does not require Half-Life.
No, now it doesn't require Half-Life, but before
I see. Right.
So they've now recognised it as an actual game, from what I can see. So.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It is very good. Surprisingly, I think it was only made by a few people or one person. I'm not exactly sure on the facts, but it is very good. And it is fucking scary. Like, seriously, I did really,
Yeah, it does look pretty good. I have to take you up on that one and maybe give it a go myself.
And it's free.
It is free. I've just noticed that as well. That's quite good.
I'll have to go with that.
Yeah. I mean that another game I'll probably like to talk about is probably more the Japanesey kind of games, which is Sayonara. I'm not too sure if anyone out there might have heard of.
It's too mainstream.
It's not mainstream. Well, I wouldn't say it's not mainstream because it is. I think in Japan it did quite well as far as I understand. It's done by the studio Nitro Plus, which has absolutely beautiful artwork.
Oh yeah.
And but it's one of those visual novels and with a hint of eroticness in it. Erotica.
That's Japan's specialty, I think. Erotica. I think that's.
Oh, they have to put porn into everything, don't they? But
yeah.
I mean, even beach volleyball, they have to put in some tits.
Yeah, but that was one of the best games ever when you were a kid.
Oh yeah, that's true. When you're about 12 playing games, all you care about is tits anyway.
Yeah.
Or guns. Anyway, Sayonara, it's quite a nice story, very moving, but at times could be very, very creepy and even sickening at times, knowing what your main character's done. Which is another one which is very similar, I think. It's another sort of a RPG slash dating sim type game or visual novel. Corpse Party, which is on PlayStation out on PlayStation Network, or I think you can actually get it on the PSP. I'm not sure if it's actually got
you get it on the PSP?
Well, it's down as in a PSP game when you download it on PlayStation Network, so I'm not too sure whether it is a full retail release or just a digital release. But once again, it's one of those Japanese horror movies set in high school, and once again, that is I haven't finished it again. I keep starting these games and I never finish them.
Yeah, but that's your problem though. You actually just buy all these games and then you never play them. That's your problem. Like,
Yeah,
you just like to have them on the shelf. I swear sometimes.
I do. I like looking at them and then never play them.
Like you're looking through for a game last night and you was like, oh, this is a game I've never played, but I bought that I never played.
Well, I didn't even know I bought it. I think that was the case.
You
really.
didn't even know you bought it.
Well, no. I mean, I suppose, yeah.
I think sometimes you just like to keep them because sometimes you're like, oh, I bought this for myself. It's like a present that you can't remember buying.
Yeah.
You don't know how much money it's on.
Yeah.
I think the other games as well that I quite liked was like what are they called, pixel horrors.
Right.
So there's one called Paranoiac, which is actually really good.
All right. Yeah.
Which is fairly fucking creepy because it does still have jump scares in it. Like if the monster catches you, you actually get like it's kind of like, you know, a scary maze game when something pops up on the screen at you, like it's just an image.
Right.
It's like that, but it's a really creepy image. It's really weird. I'll show you later. And also,
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oni.
Oni. I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've played it myself.
It's like the purple monster thing.
All right. Okay.
It is quite fun to watch that, you know.
I'll have to have a look. I'll have to have a look at that, definitely. That sounds very different.
Yeah. It is very good, but yeah.
Another one I like to... Just the last one I was going to talk about for now. It's more Japanesey, once again. Project Zero games.
Oh, yeah,
or Fatal Frame. They are like sort of set in the in Japan with like sort of classic sort of Japan horror theme with the long hair and a girl and that kind of stuff, and jump scares mainly. And I remember playing that with my friends when I was younger, and we were just cowering next to each other.
Is that the one where you got the camera?
It is, yes, that's right, yeah. And also, I'm not even sure if this is a horror game myself, but it's just a very, very strange game. It's Killer 7 on the GameCube or PS2. You can get it for as well, and done by probably my favourite game director, Suda51, being as mental as himself.
Killer 7.
Killer 7. All it is, it's on-rail shooter, that's all it is. But it's quite creepy sometimes, like, you get these mad bombers, and basically all you need to do is scan them out, and you shoot their core, basically lit up in yellow, and you go shoot them, and then they die. But the thing is, there's different types of them, and they move at you at different speeds, so you go trying to take them out, and they make some really creepy smiling noises when they run towards you and stuff. That's what I find creepy about it, and also the art style is just fantastic.
But Suda51 has it.
That is what he is good at, though. That's the great thing about him.
Yeah.
So.
But you just realised, you just lied to the viewers. You said there's only one more game you want to talk about, and you just put that too.
I'm not starting this on a good note, am I?
You're not.
Never mind.
Anyway, moving on. What wasn't supposed to be scary but did scare you? I think my kind of number one was probably Psychonauts. Psychonauts is kind of a creepy game as well when you look into it too much.
I personally haven't played it, but I did watch you play it for a little bit, and there are some very, very bizarre things in that game. It's once again, almost like the mind of Suda51 sort of thing, where it's
This is a double fine.
you just don't. Yeah, it is double fine, obviously, but it's just It's just such a bizarre image that it portrays, and you just don't expect it.
Yeah, but I think the creepiest it's kind of like an Easter egg, I suppose. You know, Mia, the what's it called, the psychonaut that's all groovy, always calls someone darling. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she basically, in her kind of level, she has a secret room that you can go into, and it's kind of like a nursery.
Yeah.
And basically, her backstory in general is she used to look after an orphanage and it burned and things like that. And so she could hear the voices of the screaming children because of her abilities. And if you actually punch a box in the room and you go down, you can actually see like nightmares actually barred behind this kind of like lava-ish cell. And you can actually hear the screams of all the children, like, Mia, help us, and why did you let us die, and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's really fucking creepy because you don't expect it.
Yeah, that's also a very similar trait to what creeped me out in System Shock 2, was that you can hear the monsters sort of mumbling to themselves at a distance, but you don't see them, and you just think, oh god, are they around the next corner? And then you turn around and nope, and right behind you.
Yeah.
You know, it's that I do like that kind of like creepiness. I myself prefer more of a more psychological and sort of more bizarre kind of like horror rather than jump scares. Jump scares, I found sometimes it can be very useful once or twice, but it's been shown on like Dead Space after about your fifth or sixth monster, it just ceases to be funny. It just ceases. Exactly. You know, like, oh, I've got this thing lying on the ground now, and I wonder if I walk over to it, will it attack me? Oh, yes, it would, because it happened to the last 700 or 800 things I killed. So that's why I generally love atmosphere in games. Definitely.
Oh, and you know what game has the most atmosphere?
Go on.
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. Indeed. And that is. And it's technically, once again, not a horror game,
not horror,
but there are some horrific things that it makes you do in that game, which hopefully not too much spoiler for other people, so switch off if you don't like spoilers. If you haven't played Heavy Rain.
Just go play it if you haven't.
Go play it!
Go play it!
Basically, it's the scene where when he goes to save himself, one of the trials he has to do by cutting off his own fingers.
Yeah, and you have to do that yourself.
You have to do that yourself, and you think...
You feel like such a douchebag after doing it, because you're just like, I've done this to you. Like, I'm so sorry, man, but...
Well, I sort of inject myself into it, and you think, oh, no, don't do it, no. And, you know, it is quite gruesome. And
you're like button mashing with like your eyes closed, like, no!
And it is very gruesome, all the sound effects and also the voice acting is absolutely excellent for that. And it just sort of cringe-worthy when that happened, and you think, oh, God, no, don't do it, man.
I feel so bad for people that are called Jason, because we got a friend called Jason, and like...
And we do.
Every time we just try and talk to him, it's just like, you just think, Jason!
Oh dear, but...
Like, remember we was trying to find him in the crowd or something? Like, he walked off without us.
Oh, yeah, I remember,
like, Jason!
It just can't help it. It's awful. It's awful.
Just gotta get him a red balloon. Send him off.
Yes, we do, yes. What else do you find scarier than that?
Fucking hell. I think one of the kind of, like, the scariest experience I had that wasn't actually supposed to be scary is when I first played Minecraft.
Oh, right.
It wasn't even like the creepers or anything, right? What happened is I didn't know the controls, and I decided, I'll build myself a house, as you do. So I decided to start, you know, I got some wood blocks and just like started building, and I realised I even closed myself in. So I'm like, oh shit, you know, what am I supposed to do? So I was keep looking through these buttons, and suddenly I clicked this button, and somehow I managed to spawn these really creepy looking villagers. Like, everywhere you moved, they just kept following me. I was like, oh shit, and I was trying to like keep pressing these buttons, but more and more spawned. And I was like in the middle of Geek Festival. Do you remember?
I do remember that,
I was like,
actually.
Fuck, how did I get out of this? Like these 10-year-olds looking at me like, yeah, you loser. You know you're bad when like 10-year-olds are sitting there like, girl.
Yeah, well, they're 10-year-olds. But away from that.
Yeah, that was too creepy for me. Too spooky for me.
Well, once again, another thing that I suppose is not supposed to be creepy is Catherine.
Yeah. I
But-
don't know, I think it is supposed to be
I suppose the dream sequence is supposed to be creepy, and you know it's got quite a creepy soundtrack as well. But it's the kind of how should I say, one of the levels that really got me was with the Kay Catherine and her in the wedding dress and the fork chasing after you.
Yeah.
That actually scared, or the baby actually. I think that's probably even worse. The baby with the it's horrendous just looking at it. But it's I loved it. I love the story in it. It's just absolutely brilliant. Nobody tackled that story, that kind of story before, other than I suppose more Japanese games like Dating Sims. They generally like to talk about these romantic things, but in a big mainstream game, not you don't see a lot of these kind of stories being told, and I think it's quite refreshing to be.
Yeah, and usually in like one of like these kind of games, you kind of see like more the lovey-dovey side of romance. You know, you don't see the inner struggles that you have with yourself when you're going out with someone, when you start going out with someone.
I think the reason why they sort of made this game is sort of to do with sort of Japan's decline in marriage and also and like, you know, birth rates are going down and all sort of things, and they just it's one of those games where you sort of how you trying to make the player think about what you perceive as a relationship and what you should do. It's interesting. It's a bit goofy towards the end.
Yeah.
but it makes the point. It makes a point.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
But calling back on your thought of, you know, marriage rates going down, it's not that marriage rate is going down. They're just not marrying humans anymore.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
They decide to marry, you know, pillows and dolls and characters.
What's wrong with that?
Should I just leave you with Rinko, you know?
Hey, Rinko's mine. But never mind. Away from the creepy thoughts.
Yeah. I think the scariest thing for me when I was a kid, it was did you ever play Mario 64?
I played a bit of it, yes, that's right, yeah.
Did you ever get to the part with I think it was the Haunted Mansion or something?
I can't remember myself. It's been a long time since I played it.
But anyway, I think it's in the Haunted Mansion area. You come into a room and you just see a piano.
Yeah.
It just looks like a normal grand piano. I'm like, oh no, this is fine. And like, as soon as you get close to it, like grows teeth and starts chasing you. And like really loud music, really loud like dun 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 on the piano.
I suppose when you're a kid, that will really creep you out, then, doesn't it?
That messed me up.
I'm sure it did.
Oh.
I'm sure it did. But jump scares. I'm not a big fan of it, but I do like. But sometimes it can be used effectively, very very effectively. But I want to go back to more creepy kind of scares, or at least things that creep you out. One of my favourite ones, Metal Gear Solid, Sons of Liberty. Towards the end, once again, I'm sure most people would have played it by now, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's the codex messages when you're starting talking to Colonel Campbell, I think his name was.
Yeah. Right.
And you all this throughout the game, you thought you were talking to a guy and stuff like that, but towards the end, you find out that they're just AI.
All right.
That you've been talking to, and you just done something to their AI, so they started corrupting and started spewing out some of the most bizarre things you just don't expect, and you know, with all this kind of creepy music in the background as well, and then you just hear them blurb out all this stuff, and then their voices are modulated and sort of broken up and sort of thing and fuzzy and stuff like that, and you just sit there. I remember playing this at night time, not even too late. I think it was all like 7 o'clock in night time, but I was just sitting there going, what?
But is it 7 o'clock in the winter or 7 o'clock in the summer? That makes a difference.
It does make a difference, but I remember it was dark. So
it must have been winter.
It probably is winter, but it sends a chill into you going, what the
You sure you just didn't leave the window open?
Well, probably. Yeah, probably.
So if you want more creepy games, I think LSD Simulator is
I wouldn't say that's creepy. That's just fucked up. I think that's what it is.
I think that is LSD. I think I've never done it.
I've never done it. No.
Yeah, popping pills every weekend. That's just my life. But
stay safe, kids.
Pop pizza, not pills. But that was my Mountain Dew.
Oh.
LSD simulator. That is just fucked up.
Yeah, I've seen. I don't own the game, unfortunately. I've seen somebody play just to play a little bit of it from and I played it from the download somewhere, from a ROM somewhere, and oh my god,
it's like a creepy thing, like that big face thing.
Oh yeah, what? It's just what I just don't understand. It's just the most bizarre thing.
You don't even get why this game was created. Like, isn't it supposed to be someone's dreams or something, all mashed together?
Don't know. It's probably is, but then again, the Japanese people are a bit strange, and they are probably on acid most of the time.
I like it. I think it's quite creative.
Well, I don't know if it's creative or just like randomized junk.
Do you think this is what WarioWare would look like?
I don't know. Do you know what what the actual game reminds me of? It actually just reminds me of like people trying to debug a game or something like that, and things just going wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm kind of watching the highlights now, and is that seriously like a baby elephant in the sky?
It is a baby elephant in the sky, in the green sky, mind you, with a big well in the middle and some kind of forest and some kind of wall, and then it turned blue with lots of signposts.
You can't make this shit up, can you?
Somebody did, obviously.
Oh,
and there's some giant turtle walking around, and
that's not even a turtle. That's just like a.
I don't know. It's a PS1. It is not like.
Did you know there's actually a creepypasta about this?
Yeah.
Apparently, if you see, I think it's called like the Dark Man or something, the Shadow Man or something.
Yeah.
But it's actually true. Like, if you see the Shadow Man and he touches you, he actually deletes all your replay, like all your replay files.
Ah, it's interesting.
Like even now, there's like multi-patterned blocks in the sky, and there's a teddy bear texture on the.
What is?
And it's quite cool because they replay like the same environments, but they actually just changed they randomized the textures.
Randomized textures from a bank or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think you get to choose from a menu type thing, like a section, like where would you want your trip. I think. Where is it? I think it's just coming up now. Oh no, that's just selected it.
See, people they pay like, I think it's like £5 for like a tab of acid. You might as well just like emulate this and.
Well, I don't know. I think this game. Well, I don't know. Well, we don't condone people pirating.
Well, no, we don't condone, but it's so hard to find.
I don't know how hard it is difficult to find, but
I think it's pretty difficult.
I think it's probably quite difficult to find, and that's why people would have to try and find an emulator for it. But it's just so you've got like a menu of like up or down, dynamic and static, and you pick a spot from the menu, and
there's like a pair of eyes in like the middle of it.
Yeah, it's very, very strange.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think we've gone on enough about this.
I don't think we have.
Also, I really love creepypastas. I don't know why, especially when it's creepypastas in games.
Yeah.
I find it's really interesting. One of them is actually Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
Which is you go up into the attic and there's a phone in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
And when you pick up this phone, apparently, lightning strikes, and it looks like Luigi hanging from like a rope in the attic as his shadow. Which is quite weird, but people see it. I think it's one of those things like, if you've got an overactive imagination, you probably see it.
I suppose, yeah.
It might have been a glitch or something,
I mean, talking about hallucinations, we have to talk about Eternal Darkness in terms of that. And the only time that genuinely have scared me in a game has to be Eternal Darkness. It has genuinely got me off my seat and went, what? With my face going, oh my god, what just happened? I can give you a few examples. One of them was I was just walking around, my sanity meters were very low, and opened the door, my head exploded.
What?
Yes, literally, just my head exploded, and then and then it fades back into the game, and I think, okay, that's fine, okay, good. Next thing that happened was walking around, open another door to another level. It cuts into a static screen saying, "Thank you for playing Eternal Darkness. To be continued."
What?
And you think, this can't be the end, could it? I only played this for like 3 hours.
Is this the same game that actually like it pretends to delete all your save files and?
And that was the one I was about to tell you. When I was going to save my file, it says deleting files instead. That's the one that got me out of my seat and went, oh god, what is this?
Yeah.
And then it cuts back in again, and
also it like cuts off your controller.
Yeah, because of the controllers, and like you have to switch controller ports and stuff, which is very, very good fun. And
I think
it's
that
sort of
is
like
quite
breaking.
Ingenious, like
It is.
Innovative.
It's once again another type of
horror.
In the sense that it's sort of like mending it to real life. You know, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah,
basically.
it is breaking the fourth wall.
It's fantastic.
You know. Okay, so we're going to take a short break for now. Have some Mountain Dew.
And some munchies.
And some munchies.
Some discos. Disco. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so we're going to take a break and we'll come back in a minute. See you guys then. Okay, so the next question, would you like to announce it?
Yes, well, it's one of those questions that we always ask each other, I suppose. What makes a horror game for us, really? So, what's actually scary? What makes us scared, I suppose?
I think, personally, it would probably be something like Eternal Darkness, something that actually breaks the fourth wall and it kind of jumps into reality a little bit.
That's probably my favourite kind of horror. Well, not horror, but scares, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because, as well as when they have a truth element in it, so it's actually, you know, it could happen. That's the thing that kind of scares me. It could happen.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know, things that really gets me cringe, like almost like in Heavy Rain, where, you know, where you're cutting your fingers off, and that is kind of, you've been through that character for so long, and it's sort of set in a very realistic environment.
You get attached, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. And you're sort of thinking, oh god, do I have to do this? That sort of like thought goes through your mind, and I like that kind of like sort of, shall we say, scare better, because it does get into you. I mean, in my opinion, sort of like guts and gore and jump scares don't tend to scare me too much, maybe after the first few times, but they don't generally scare me because it's quite shallow. I found, you know, it's sort of a cheap way to sort of like trying to make something scary, but you get things that genuinely scary, and I should say probably atmosphere as well.
Oh, yeah.
Atmosphere really gets me.
Like claustrophobia as well.
Oh yeah, that's right, and your feeling of being alone.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm sort of a bit annoyed, I have to admit, like at the recent Resident Evil games where you are running around with a bunch of mates shooting at zombies, and it just ceases to be scary. I mean, the first game I really enjoyed on the Resident Evil series was the remake on the GameCube, obviously with the much better graphics and everything, but you're actually alone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And like System Shock 2, you're alone in this place. You're nothing but somebody maybe through a voice comm to talk to you.
Yeah.
But you're always alone. You have to sort everything out, and that's sort of like, you know, I like that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, sort of quite desperate.
Yeah. There's also as well, we're coming back to the Silent Hill, especially when you're in the fog. You can't see anything. Like, you don't know what's happening. You know?
Yeah. It's the kind. It sort of doesn't.
It doesn't, like, I don't know how to say it. It's just creepy, I suppose. Like,
I suppose you don't see what's coming.
Yeah, you don't see what's coming.
Yeah.
But you can hear things from the distance. Like, you can probably hear a growling. Or
that's right.
What the fuck's that? Like,
sort of and sound. I think sound plays a very, very big part in terms of trying to make games scary. Like, like one of my experiences with Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Probably the
the basement.
The basement with the water. With the water. truly like got my heart racing and almost sent a cold chill down my spine as you're just walking around and suddenly you hear splash, 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 and then it's like you don't see anything. It's like, what's that then? And then you hear it louder and louder and louder, and then you see the splashes and you think, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
And you just gotta kind of get out as much as you can, but you can't really get out. You've only got like this tiny little like crate to stand on or something like that. Like you can't really get away from it.
That's right, yeah.
As well as, I suppose the same thing as well with Amnesia is you can't fight it, you can't do anything to save yourself, you just have to hide and you have to run away.
Yeah.
Which I quite like.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much sums that up, really, isn't it?
I don't think Guts and Gore is scary, really. I don't,
I mean, if it's sort of Guts and Gore, I think can only really be sort of scary if it's set in the right sort of the tone and also the kind of environment. If it's something so, how should I say it, something that is so unreal, like in, say, for example, a sci-fi, where, like in Dead Space, you know that's never going to happen. So, well, okay, it might happen, but very unlikely it's going to happen. And you're a man in a spacesuit, and these mutated things comes at you. It sort of detaches yourself from reality.
Yeah.
But if a game is sort of set in a very realistic environment, like that you the player can actually relate to, I think that's what makes it a lot more scarier.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I understand that, yeah. And as well as, I don't really like music in horror games. I think some of it can be nice, but when you're in that such silence, I think that's what kind of makes it scary for me, because music can it will give you an idea of what's happening, but when there is no music, you don't know what's happening.
It's sort of, the music does play, like sound, it plays a big part in terms of setting the mood of the environment that you're in, even though you are looking at it, but you sort of like get like you said, like get an idea of how it feels.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think I think horror is quite a hard thing to get right.
Definitely. When it gets trying to keep jump scaring you or something like I play in Dead Space, it becomes silly. It becomes silly.
Yeah.
It really does become silly. And then you sort of lose all sort of like
just lose your respect for it a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, one thing I do like, even if it's jump scare, I quite like Doom 3. Doom 3 gets it right quite well with the sort of the data pads and stuff like that you find, and also bits of it where your flashlights stop working, and then you see flashes of the person, like flashes of the monster coming closer and closer, but you don't hear it and things like that. I think that only been used once in that game, and that was a very good. I think that's a very good experience.
Like Cry of Fear with the camera, as we can tell from the video that was uploaded a while ago when you try to.
Shut up! That was the first time. Literally within the break time, I thought I'd download it and have a look, and that happens.
It was very, because I've already played it. I've played bits of it. I've played the beginning, and I've also seen other people play it, so I'm quite conditioned to that jump scare now. So I kind of thought, I knew you were playing it, and I knew you had no idea, so I was like,
That's why you set up the camera.
Yeah, I was like, wait, don't do anything, don't do anything yet.
I knew I should. I knew I shouldn't have fallen for that trap.
Oh.
But never mind it. But that's what. I suppose that's what part of the fun for some of these games.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
though I do sort of like yell out some curses and everything else.
Yeah.
But
it's a good game when you're yelling out curses. Oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, it's a game that actually scares you, or sometimes I like an atmosphere where it's so creepy. You just feel unsettling.
Oh yeah.
You feel like, somebody's watching you, and there's something else out there, and I don't know where it is, and then you just keep hearing it, but you never see anything. It's building up that tension, and then suddenly it all goes off, and you go, and then you just put down your headphones, and you turn on the lights, and you walk out of the room, maybe cower into a corner.
with need to change your pants.
Yes, with my pants being blown off into the pants land, and
I think
socks.
I think it kind of reflects on, you know, when you go into like a creepy old building or something and you feel like something's watching you. I think it reflects back on that. Like, that's what they think of when you're playing games, you know. It's the same feeling.
It is, yeah, that's right, yeah. It's that unsettling feeling.
So it's coming back to kind of realism, like, you know.
Yeah, that's right. It's something that somebody can relate to, and I think, like, being more spiritual or something like you, you can sort of...
I can understand.
You can understand it, yeah that's right, yeah. So now, shall we maybe have a little talk about something, as we sort of wrap up, let's talk about something that is coming up that we are looking forward to. What are you looking forward to that?
I think my kind of the thing I'm looking forward to most is there's a new horror game coming up called Among the Sleep. I think that's what it's called anyway. Where basically you play as a baby and you're you know, obviously you can't fight against this thing, but you can't find your mother, and you know you've got to kind of use a more puzzly kind of, you know, look to it, and it looks quite interesting. It's from a new perspective that I haven't really seen before. So yeah, and that's coming up soon. I don't know when it's coming out, but you know, it does look good. And obviously you got your teddy, and you know me with my teddies, I have to have something there. But your teddy talks to you as well. Yes. It's like you're a kid again.
Yes, I'm sort of looking at that at the moment. It's quite interesting the kind of perspective you're looking at. Instead of you being a little bit more, I think if they're trying to play the vulnerable, you being a baby, being quite vulnerable at the time, and also the kind of perspective as well, where everything is so much bigger than you, it's sort of more intimidating. Like, I'm just looking at some screenshots on the official website, and on, like, when you're walking around the house and everything just seems so daunting, like even just a telly like looking over you, and
you're from much lower down as well.
That's right.
You can't see as much as someone who is an adult.
That's right.
Kind of thing. That's what I'm quite looking for.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that one as well. Thanks for that.
That's all right.
And I think my one has been I wouldn't say a sci-fi nut, but I enjoy sci-fi at least, and I don't think there's enough sort of sci-fi horror in my opinion.
Definitely.
And one of them I'm very, very looking forward to is by Lunar Software.
Yeah.
Called Routine.
Yeah. By the way, who is Among the Sleep from? Do you know? There we go. Krillbite Studio.
Krillbite Studio.
But from who's it from? Sorry. No, from Routine.
Oh, Routine is from Lunar Software. It's called Lunar Software. It's once again, it's like I said before. I from what I've seen from the trailer and stuff, I like the idea of being alone, like in somewhere you're trapped, you can't get out. Space is big.
It's
and quite
pretty big.
Pretty big, yeah.
How big would you say though? Would you kind of say from a ant to a Land Rover?
Ant to Land Rover, I say probably a Hummer.
A Hummer. That is quite big.
That is pretty big.
Yeah.
But but I like the premise. You as an engineer, sort of stuck in a space station, sort of abandoned moon base, and you've got to try and uncover like why people have been disappearing and things like that. I like the idea. It's I think from the video I've seen and also some screenshots, it seems to set the tone very well.
It does.
It's sort of set in the, I think sort of the late sort of 80s sort of era with like, you've got a little tool that you can scan things with and it's got
like, floppy
disk. Yes, it does. Yeah. That's the sole reason I'm playing that, so.
as well as, it looks, from what I can see from it, it looks claustrophobic, but it's not, if you get what I mean. So the environments look very big, but it's still.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I think I think also what I like about it, because I really like Amnesia: The Dark Descent myself as well, where the premise is that you've been chased by this being, and just from watching a trailer, there was a little glimpse of a little robot that walks up and slowly looks at you, and sort of thing like that. It seems like that's what's it gonna be, you know? You're gonna be running away from something, or something is gone wrong and it's after you,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be like a shooty horror kind of game. It's going to be more mood and exploring, which I think it will be brilliant.
And apparently it's non-linear, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
I do like a non-linear.
Yeah, it sort of like sets you wanting to go and explore the place, rather than try and let you uncover the story yourself at your own pace, rather than hurrying you through a linear story. And the other very similar game that I've seen, which I'm still yet to get and play, is Echo Knight.
Oh, Echo Knight.
Is it Echo Knight? Echo Knight Beyond. This is set on the PlayStation 2, and it is pretty much the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much the same thing. You're an astronaut.
It says PS1 though.
Is it PS1 or is it PS? No, PlayStation 2.
Oh, it's
PlayStation 2.
Okay.
Come on.
I got it.
But there's no firearms in the game, and you sort of you're confronted by a ghost. So it seems quite interesting, and you see like I don't know. I've only seen like some screenshots of it and some video of people playing it, and I don't know. I'll have to try to get a hold of this and try and play it myself, and then get routine and see how that compares.
Yeah, but to be honest though, it wouldn't really make sense if you had firearms because they're ghosts.
Well, yeah, that's it. I think that's the point.
If they equipped you with a Hoover, then maybe you'd have a chance.
And some lasers. But
don't cross the wires.
Don't cross the beams.
Don't cross the beams.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I'm really looking forward to for now, at least. So, and I believe that sort of wrap things up for us for our first podcast.
Woo, we did it.
We did it indeed.
We did it.
Yep. And
so
there you go.
Yeah. So we're probably going to be doing more. I think it's probably going to be once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll try to get something out there.
Yeah, we'll try not to be lazy.
Well, as always, these are only our opinion, and we're probably wrong in some of the bits anyway.
Yeah.
So, if there's anything wrong, please tell us.
Yeah.
And,
but it would be a great help if you could probably, because we're probably going to put this on YouTube, so probably I'm going to get a blog started up. If you could follow, subscribe, anything that is positive. That'll probably help us out a lot, because we're still very new at this. We've never done a podcast in our life.
Yeah. This is our first go at it.
First go. So yeah, we're gonna
let us know what you think about it as well.
And also, if you have any questions about it, like if you have any genres we want to go through, or if there's any questions you want to ask us, then feel free to, basically.
Yeah, we're always nice. We're always happy to meet new people. So.
Yeah, we are.
So that's always good.
Yeah. So we'll see you later.
I'll see you later.
This is Batten Hovis signing out. Bye.